What's good, man? What's good, everyone? Hope everyone having a blessed Sunday afternoon. Y'all know what it is. We about to talk some football today, man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Let me turn this music down. Of course, I have one of my co-hosts with me, Coach 67 Sports TV. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored this afternoon. Still a little irritated and agitated after last night. However, all is well. You know, the Catholic. I'm Baptist, and the Catholic Church across the street is having their annual. Usually they used to have it like Labor Day weekend, but they moved it up a little bit. They're having a pop-up fair across the street to raise money. I've been to back-to-back church services this morning. So I done simmered down a little bit, still a little agitated though, but all is well. I can't complain, you know what I'm saying? How about you? How about you this afternoon?
Man. I can't complain. JB, my brother, will not be joining us. Well, he will join us if he feels better. And in addition to that, he is doing some obligations as well. So, if you can join us, he will. If not, we still gonna cook. Yeah, man. Those who don't know what Coach is talking about, his Southern Jaguars fell on their face last night, man. But we don't want to give away all the goods, man. I'm gonna let one of the topics is the Stat Southern and North Carolina Central game, so I'm gonna let you have it. So just be patient. Yeah, those who coming in, man, please hit my like button, share and subscribe. I appreciate all your support trying to build the channel. So I appreciate y'all, man. And those other brothers who want to join, please, you can definitely join us. The link is in the chat. If not, appreciate your support. Okay, let's see. All right, Coach. Football is upon us, man. Damn time is moving fast, bro.
Yeah, without question. I mean, that's the thing about it. You know, at one point the season was over. We was like, hey, you know, we ready for some more football. Now we here. We getting ready going to week 1. And, you know, time keeps moving, you know.
Yes, sir. Christopher Dukes, what's going on, gentlemen? Appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's we gonna hit up these scores, man. Week 0, man. So yesterday we had Iowa State and Kansas State play, and I think that was in Ireland or something like that.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and it was a damn good game. Avery Johnson did okay through the air, 273 yards. But Iowa State was able to weather the storm and still ended up beating Kansas State 24-21. Idaho State gave the UNLV Rebels a scare, but UNLV was able to beat off Idaho State with a stick, 38-31. Let me turn this music down so people can hear me. All right, and then we had Fresno State going against Kansas. Kansas beat Fresno State 31-7. Then we had Sam Houston go against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky beat Sam Houston 41-24. And then another good game was Stanford and Hawaii. Hawaii ended up beating Stanford 23-20. And going into our FCS games in week 0, Incarnate Word fell to Nicholls State, a school that coach does not like, but they end up winning 26. Tarleton
Yeah,
State,
that was a big upset in my opinion. Just 35 minutes down the road from where I'm at as we speak.
yeah, yeah. Tarleton State, which Mississippi Valley is going to end up playing, I think, in that week 2 game. Tarleton State blew out Portland State 42-0. And I meant Mississippi Valley, my bad. They're going to end up playing Tarleton State, I think, their week 2 game. And then the game we're going to talk about, North Carolina Central beat Southern 31-14. And then UC Davis and Mercer game was canceled. But Coach, what did you think about the other than the Southern game? What did you think about the games that? Well, let me rephrase it. Any games that caught your eye or?
No, I'm not gonna lie. It was just some good action. You know, even though some of these teams are teams I wouldn't ordinarily watch, I'm gonna be truthful. Next week for week 1, some of these teams I'm probably good. I probably care less about. However, you know, some of these teams being that they played week 0, the spotlight was on them. You know, so that's why I felt like for some teams it was imperative that they got off to a good start because the spotlight was on them. And in addition to that, you want to start your season off with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
You want to surge in the middle. You want to finish strong at the end.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna. My eyes were glued to the very big, in my opinion, a big Big 12 matchup in a week 0, Iowa State and Kansas State. So Iowa State, who were one of the best teams in the Big 12, is looking to do the same thing again. So they started off, like you said, very good so far. All right. But we'll see what the people in the chat talking about, man. Adrian Crook said Duke's about to start capping like this ain't the freshman that beat Prime in 2022. They did what they're supposed to do. Oh, Lord. Crook, please get your mind off of JSU. Seems like you have bigger problems to worry about, y'all. There y'all go. But I ain't gonna lie, going into week 1, my eyes is also gonna be glued into Colorado versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is not a pushover. Not saying they're the best team in the world. A lot of times a lot of years they have been middle of the road, but they can be tricky.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Looking ahead, I definitely got my eye on Alabama and Florida State.
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, of course, being that I live in Baton Rouge, you know, Southern is my primary focus. However, you're gonna have a lot of buzz in Baton Rouge between LSU and Clemson. I'm not gonna lie. The same way there's a lot of pressure for Coach Graves to win on the bluff across town in Tiger Lane. There's even more pressure for Coach Brian Kelly to win a national championship. I'm not gonna lie, the way things could go, hey, we could be mid-season and both coaches could be standing in the unemployment line. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, Adrian Crook, he's an F LSU.
Oh no. See, this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. At A.W. Mumford State and P. Richardson Field on Saturday nights, when they announce the scores, there's a certain segment of Jaguar Nation that wants LSU to win and do well, but there's also a certain segment of Jaguar Nation that's literally like FLSU The reason being is because when it comes to resources and finances and stuff in the state, LSU is the flagship, and everybody else like secondary stepchildren. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
literally, there were points where Pete Richardson was winning SWAC championships, and LSU was a middle of the pack team in the SEC, but yet, Southern get a big win against a SWAC rival like Jackson State. LSU got a bye week, but you turn it to the Advocate, the newspaper in Baton Rouge, and there's a little small black and white picture of the game from last night for Southern, and a huge, big portion, the majority of the sports section page, front cover page, is LSU, and LSU got a bye week. You know what I'm saying? Or you turn it to the two local news channels, WAFB and WBRZ. They talk about LSU for like 5 minutes, and they talk about Southern for like 30 seconds. So it's that type of discrepancy that has a portion of Jaguar Nation when they announce those scores in A.W. Mumford Stadium, P. Richardson Field, over the PA system, and LSU is losing. That's why they start cheering, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, as we speak, the state of Louisiana owes Southern University over $1 billion.
Wow.
In terms of state funding, past due state funding. Hey, we're going to promise you. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and just keep rolling down the line. They owe Southern over $1 billion, but guess what? They don't owe LSU a damn thing because LSU get every penny they owe. So that's why there's a segment of Jaguar Nation that really is like LSU. Like, and I mean it with all due disrespect. That's how they feel.
Yeah, I see it how Agent Crook said it in the chat. And salute to J Bar. He said salute family in chat. Thank you.
Man, salute J Bar. Salute to everybody in the chat, you dig?
Yes, sir. Shelton, here you go. Football back, so you know how much Shelton going.
Brock F. Purdy. Man, Brock Purdy gonna choke on a ham sandwich this season and play like a scrub. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. He said, I know y'all ain't talking shit about Brock M.F. and Purdy. Yes, we
Man,
is.
hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Mr. Shelton, let me say this and say this now. You so high on Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy handled business this season, I'm going to give Brock Purdy his props. I don't see it. Because all them weapons he done had in the past, like Deebo Samuel, they no longer in San Francisco. So Brock Purdy got to effing show me. You saying he that guy, he got to show me. Don't tell me, show me you did.
Hey, we ain't hate, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If Brock Purdy tear this year up as far as through the air and, basically have a good showing with the weapons he have now, then I definitely don't mind eating crow. But I don't see it, man.
Man, I'm going to keep it a buck, man. Hey, if Brock Purdy ball out this season, I'm going to give Brock Purdy his props. And when it comes to Brock Purdy, I'm going to shut the F up. I ain't going to see it. Now, another bad thing about Brock Purdy, you did.
Facts. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. All right. Let's not waste time. Let's go ahead and go into it. Those who don't know, I know all the Southern Jaguar fans in here know about it. But the reason why we're covering it because it was big in the HBCU world. Was the very first HBCU game for both the MEAC and the SWAC. Week 0 game, the MEAC versus SWAC challenge, or what Coach would like to say, the SWAC versus the MEAC challenge. It was Southern versus North Carolina Central. Unfortunately, the Southern coaches, Jaguars, Southern Jaguars fell flat on their face. Coach, I'm gonna give it to you, man. What happened?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think the score from last night is not an indication of the.
Oh, and let me add this. I predicted Thursday. We recorded the show Thursday. I predicted the score was going to be 31-14. So if you go back and listen to that show, I predicted it. So you can call me Black Notre Dame, But I do see where North Carolina is very no, excuse me, North Carolina Central is very beatable. But go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give you props. You predicted the score, that being the score. When you say the score, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, no effing way. But hey, it came to fruition, and I think the score last night is not an indication of the talent gap between Southern and North Carolina Central. It's more of a indication of the talent gap from a coaching standpoint in terms of the quality of coaching when it comes to Trey Oliver and and Terrence Graves. Terrence Graves, him and his entire coaching staff left a whole lot to be desired as far as I'm concerned last night. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Uh, the game started. Southern won the opening toss, like I would ordinarily do. They deferred to the second half. Southern defense went out on the field, and North Carolina Central proceeded to drive the ball down Southern's throat and score a touchdown. So they're up 7-0. Then Southern gets the ball, and to my dismay, Cameron McCoy started at quarterback, and I'm like, okay, what the F is going on? Of course, I didn't know at the time, but so many people telling me in my chat, they was like, Coach, basically what happened is Jalen Woods, he pledged to some fraternity or something. He was rocking with his fraternity brothers. He got inebriated, and he missed the team bus to
Oh
Atlanta.
man.
And as a result, he had to catch a flight home because he's from that area. He had to catch a flight home, and as a result, that was his punishment. Him watching the game for 3 quarters, three and a half quarters of the game. He was standing on the sideline, looking pissed and looking dejected, like I was. But anyway, Cameron McCoy on Southern first drive, he ran a run for 69 yards and a touchdown. I mean, clearly he has great legs. His arm leaves entirely too much to be desired as far as I'm concerned. Second drive, North Carolina Central gets the ball. They drives the ball down Southern, throw it again. They fumble on the 1 yard line. And Southern gets the ball. They really don't do anything. North Carolina Central get the ball, same thing. They drive the ball down Southern throat, and they kick a field goal. Southern hold them to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Then LSU transfer Trey Holly. He get the ball.
Trey Holly was eating.
Yeah, he had a long, long run for a touchdown. And many people talked about how he carrying a Chucky doll on the sideline. Look, as far as I'm concerned, if he gonna give me a long run like that every game, and he gonna play like that every game,
he can carry
that goddamn Chucky doll. In fact, I'll go buy him an extra Chucky doll if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? The hell with that. It's worth the trade off as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the juice is clearly worth the squeeze. I mean, I said this a few weeks back on HBCU Fanatics. I anticipate Trey Holly is going to be on the bluff for a good time, but not for a long time. As far as I'm concerned, I think he's auditioning to go to another PWI Power 5. He a Power 5 talent. You can't knock him. You let him go get his NIL money, but, he compiling, especially after last night, he's starting to compile some good footage, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, again, North Carolina Central get the ball. They drive the ball down Southern's throat. They score another touchdown. At this point, Southern defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. In terms of the defensive line, a lot of members of Jaguar Nation was like, hey, Coach, why this guy didn't play? Why that guy didn't play? Evidently, it was clearly more talented defensive linemen that members of Jaguar Nation felt like should have played last night during the game but didn't. Then, of course, you got, PV transfer Traylon James, who was smoked sausage last night, a toast braid, whatever analogy you want use in terms of being burnt toast or being burnt. I mean, he was getting beat up a lot. Many people felt like he should have been subbed out and Ed Reed Jr. should have came in the game to replace him. But either way, at this point, North Carolina Central is up 17-14. At this point, this is when the trash play calling of offensive coordinator Mark Fredericks really came into play. This is where you really start to expose yourself. All right, Southern is down 17-14, and you have less than 2 minutes left in the first half. Southern gets the ball back. Trey Holly just had a long run. Now, in this scenario, this situation, even if you say, well, hey, we're going to hold off on putting Jalen Woods in the game until the second half, we want to punish him, cool. I can respect that, you know what I'm saying? But my problem is there was no huddle offense, no 2-minute offense, no hurry offense, no go fast offense, whatever term or analogy you want to use. When I was a freshman or sophomore at Assumption, we used to call it hurry offense. But my junior and senior year, we called it 2-minute offense. Either way, there was no sense of urgency. Like they walking around, they looking to the sideline. I'm like, what the F are we doing? One. Second of all, Trey Holly had a long run. In that instance, you figure you're going to go back with, the Lightning. He bring Mike Franklin, the Thunder, back in the game. And I'm like, what the F are we doing? What are we doing? So even if Trey Holly needed, a break in terms of need to catch his breath, whatever. For the exception of Mike Franklin and Amarian Asbury, all Southern University's other running backs, they might not be as talented as Trey Holly, but they are all like literally the same smallish, speed, third down type backs, fast, jittery, good at catching the ball out the backfield. They all the same prototype. So instead of you putting another one of them other backs in the game, like Barry Remo or Jason Gabriel or one of those other backs, you putting a big physical back in the game, and you running this vanilla ass offense, and you just, for all intents and purposes, run out the clock and run out the first half, which was mind-blowing and baffling to me. Then after that point, the second half start, Jalen was still standing on the sideline. And I'm like, look, bro, if this is the first time, I found this out during my live stream last night. During my live stream, what transpired. But even with that being said, if this was the first time Jalen Woods did anything to get in trouble, basically, now this is the point you put him in the game. The game is still within striking distance. And see, I wasn't even really overly concerned with North Carolina Central just running the ball up down the field on Southern defense. I was concerned about how trash the offense looked. You know what I'm saying? That was my issue. You didn't put Jalen Woods in the game. And at that point, it's like the more the game progressed, the more North Carolina Central just dominated Southern defense, and the more pedestrian Southern offense looked. Really and truly, I'm not going to lie, there was no sense of urgency. The play calling, just like last year, was trash. It was bland. It was vanilla. And really, it shows that Trey Oliver is that much of a better coach than Terrence Graves. And in addition to that, his coaching staff, and I'm not going to lie, somebody pointed this out in my chat. Many people feel like Terrence Graves, he's an interim head coach at best. He is not a head coach. For all my LDBC family members that use a boxing analogy, he's a good sparring partner, but he is not a title contender. And last night, I feel like, just like last year against McNeese State, you started off the season like literally a year ago almost to the day, minus a week. It's like, bro, you look bad the first week of the season. And not only that, but just like last year, Kendrick Rhymes got suspended for the first half against McNeese. So that's starting to look like it's a Terrence Graves issue. And then in addition to that, it's like, man, the way the offense looked, it's clear that the only reason why Mark Frederick is the offensive coordinator is because him and Terrence Graves are friends. And not only that, another thing that really stood out from last night is this entire coaching staff, minus Fred McNair and maybe one or two other coaches, is Eric Dooley's whole entire coaching staff. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, I think Southern is a team. I think from a talent standpoint, I think it was evenly matched with North Carolina Central. But I think the score is an indication of the gap between Trey Oliver and Terrence Graves. If, first of all, I'm not going to lie, Terrence Graves, Southern cannot afford to lose the Valley. Some people saying, oh, they're going to whack Valley. I'm not going to lie. This is your classic trap game.
Man, if y'all lose the Valley.
Oh, hey, I'm not going to lie. If we lose the Valley, he is stumped Mitchell all over again. He is getting fired. No two ways about it.
Oh yeah, it's a wrap.
But even with that being said, just say he beat Valley, he don't look impressive. You already know you won't get blasted by Fresno State. But if you lose to Alabama State and Jackson State, he's still getting fired. So realistically, I'm gonna keep it a buck. He on the hot seat, and the issue with him is during the game. Jay Walker pointed it out. He said all the right things at halftime, and he made no adjustments. One of these people pointed, one of my subscribers and one of the, loyal members of Jaguar Nation, they pointed this out in the chat. He's just like a politician. He say all the right things, but when it comes down to it, his actions and his words really don't align, and he really don't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, look, bro, this shit ain't cute, and he got to fix it quick, fast, and in a hurry, you did.
Let me tell you why that comment is so true about him saying the right things and not making it. Because I watched him and heard him, how he went into the adjustments that they need to make. First of all, if your secondary is getting their ass beat all game, being in man-to-man, do something else. Run some zone plays or something. And they kept being in man-to-man. That's one thing that irritated me. The second thing that irritated me was, I understand if the young man broke some rules, broke the rules. It is what it is. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. If it was just me, if we were losing like that, I was like, you know what? I'll have your punishment doing some damn wind sprints or running your ass. We gotta win this game. Jalen, you win. Because McCoy is a good, you know how he busts that long run in the first quarter, but after that, there was really nothing else.
Really, I don't mean to cut you off, bro. Really, if you look at Southern offense, you take away the long run from Trey Holly and the long run from Cameron McCoy. That was it, bro. Like, and the thing about it was the offense. I mean, he added a jet sweep, but outside of that, the play calling and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or whatever. Right now I'm in an administrative position at my current school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not coaching, but I'm not gonna lie, my middle school offense from a few years ago, it looks more complicated and more complex than this bland vanilla offense that Southern runs. There's no motion, there's no window dressing, there's no shifting, no movement. It's bland, it's vanilla. Like, no screen passes to the wide receivers or to the tight ends or to the running backs. I mean, it's just not no sprint passes. Like, man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, our high school 2-minute offense in the late 90s was way better than Southern spread offense. Man, this is trash, bro. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be a SWAC, a perennial powerhouse in the SWAC with such a trash offense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully y'all get together. One thing, saving grace is early in the season, so hopefully they'll use this to see where they need to fix it.
But see the thing about it though, bro. He in the same spot as last year, and then not only that, but you blew the game a year ago minus a week because you played week 1 instead of week 0 last week. You played on national television. Every time you step up in competition, you as a coach, you get exposed. The 2 times you played against Jackson State, in addition to that, McNeese State, Nickel State, FAMU, anytime, I'm not gonna lie, it reminds me of the head coach when I was at Assumption. The head coach, he was thought to be so revered and this, that, and the third. But literally every time we played against a team that was equally matched with us or better than us, we always lost those games, whether it was to Donaldsonville High School, or St. James, or A-Mead, or whoever. Anytime we played against elite level competition, we lost those games. And I'm telling you right now, I can see the same thing in Terrence Graves. Like I said, if he is not careful, if he's not cautious, if he don't turn things around the way he did last year, but the difference is you set the bar higher because you ran the table and you went to the SWAC championship game. So now you have great expectations. Really, if he don't turn it around, bro, by mid-season, Fred McNair could be the interim head coach. And I'm just keeping it a stack, you know.
We'll definitely see, man. Just want to get some shout outs in the chat. My sister Tay Tay, the real queen of MMA and combat talk. She says, "Good evening, fellas."
Man, salute queen. Salute queen.
And Aya the Watcher said, North Carolina Central defensive line did not look too good. Yeah, they didn't to me either. It looked like they are playing bend but don't break. Yeah. That's why I said they are beatable.
Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. See, and that's the thing about it. You know, you talked about the secondary in terms of, Pete Richardson was synonymous for playing like a lot of man, and if they didn't have the talent, they would play a lot of off man. I mean, when they really had dogs, they would play press man, but they would play off man. And like you said, they just kept getting beat in their off man. I'm not gonna lie, that quarterback North Carolina Central got, he does not move me whatsoever at all. Man, you got this slow ass white boy just running around, and in addition to running around, it's just pitch and catch. You can't stop the run. Southern is synonymous for, good secondary play and good pass rushing. You had no pass rush. Your secondary looked trash. And a lot of the players that fans were clamoring for, like, DeMarion Johnson playing more, or Ed Reed Jr., you didn't play a lot of those guys both along the defensive line and in the secondary. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck. Southern defense looked trash. And then in terms of, from a personnel standpoint, you got 5 or 6 players that, people in my chat, saying that Coach Graves and staff should have played and they didn't get to play last night. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie. If Coach Graves wants to keep his job moving forward, either one or two things going to have to happen. Either they're going to have to completely turn things around the way they did last year after the Nickel State game, or he's going to have to demote his friend and offensive coordinator, Mark Frederick, to maybe the running back coach, have a co-offensive coordinator set up or whatever, because he is clearly a trash play caller. He is not that guy, as an offensive coordinator, because I'm not going to lie, being a coach, and that's the thing that, hopefully Coach Graves understands this. Eric Dooley didn't understand this. See, when he was there, he was arrogant, he was stubborn, he was stuck in his ways. Jaguar Nation knows football, even casual football fans. That's why even somebody like myself, even though I'm not a college coach, I didn't play college ball, but at the same token, I know football. And you can't tell me that FAMU was playing prevent defense or they was in drop 8 when it was obvious and apparent that, they were playing, some type of umbrella coverage with 4-man front. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me like dumb stuff and say that was the reason why you ran the ball with 1 timeout left, with, less than a minute and 50 seconds left, and you right at midfield. You can't tell me nothing stupid. So we know football. You can't fool us. And just like last night, you can't say what we want here, but you got to actually, make some adjustments. And I'm not going to lie, as great as Pete Richardson was, as a head coach and the dean of the SWAC, that was another issue he had when he played against the PWI Power Fives, when he played against, Nickel State. Not at the beginning, because at first, they was whooping up on Northwestern, but later on, especially in the late 90s when Northwestern got good, when they played against the Northwestern, when you played in the Big Easy Classic back-to-back years against Tulane, and you had Patrick Ramsey one year and JP Lawson the next year, it's like when they played against the big schools, they made no adjustments. So I'm not gonna lie, Coach Graves and staff, they got to do some soul searching, especially him and Mark Frederick. If they want to keep their job, hey, they better do something. You did.
Yeah, and Crook, Adrian Crook, if that was cover 3 they were playing, that's pretty bad right there. That's bad. He said that was cover 3 when the safety was down in the box and the DBs was playing off too soft. Yeah, they were playing very soft. Yeah,
Oh no, but see, that's the thing about it though. I mean, even if you playing cover 3, to me, Southern is synonymous for playing a lot of man. Maybe he switched it. I saw him playing man earlier, without question. But even if you playing cover 3, look like you should have a deep safety. You should have one cornerback playing a deep third, the other cornerback playing a deep third, and people playing underneath. But even with that, everything just was pitch and catch. And that's the thing about it. You know, from a defensive lineman standpoint, I'm not gonna lie, Kelby Givens just looks so frustrated because Jay Good pointed this out in our Southern Baller Show collective group chat. Man, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. You know, for long stretches of the game, it really looked like it was Kelby Givens and 3 substitute defensive linemen. Man, it was sad, bro. It's like you couldn't stop the run. You had no pass rush. I mean, when they got down to the goal line, I mean, the field is condensed. And the boy Walker, what's his face? He's just standing there holding the ball. He dumped the ball off to the tight end Morgan. The boy scored a touchdown. He put the ball on the ground and he do the Captain Morgan celebration because his last name Morgan. And I'm like, look, bro, you had absolutely no effing pass rush, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like, bro, from a scheme standpoint, even Henry Miller, you know, that's one thing in terms of defense. You know, Southern is synonymous for defense, and his scheme has been great. But I'm not gonna lie, that scheme looked so trash last night, bro. God damn.
Yeah, it did. It did. Salute Autism Boy. He said, "Can Shedeur Sanders win the Rookie of the Year if he don't play?" No. Because it looks like he's gonna be third string. And thank you for saying that, Autism Boy, because that's gonna bring us into our next topic, all right? And last topic for the show. The Shedeur Sanders situation. So we've all heard all the other two channels have covered it and sports networks and everything. Was it a conspiracy regarding Shedeur Sanders playing? Well, first, and to my knowledge, and let me know from tripping coach, I thought he was supposed to be starting.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was supposed to be starting, but it's clearly, you know, it's clear, it's obvious, it's apparent, it's transparent that the owner likes what the boy name is. The guy they drafted in the third round. What his name? Dylan what? Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna lie, they got 5 quarterbacks. You know, supposedly Deshaun Watson's supposed to be out for the entire year, whatever the case may be. But all his money is fully guaranteed. And I'm telling you, at some point they just might just cut him and just part ways with him. You know, you also got your former Ravens quarterback.
Tyler Huntley,
yeah, no, and then you got Joe Flacco. You know, you got all these quarterbacks. They're not gonna cut Dylan Gabriel, but in my personal opinion, Shedeur Sanders is clearly the best quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you the best opportunity and the best chance to win, even if you don't start the season with it. I feel like, all right, hey, you know, we go with Joe Flacco or Joe Flacco, whichever one you want to call it. I'm calling him Flacco because I think he done seen his better days. But you go with Flacco for the first few games. The fans gonna start clamoring for Shedeur. Then you should push Shedeur in, but I don't think he won't give Shedeur the competitive advantage over Dylan Gabriel. But at this point, I mean, I think the owner, he's kind of like in Jerry Jones mode. You know, you rich, you got money. You know, it's like, hey, F everybody else. I'd rather be right than to win. So at this point in time, I feel like you just holding that boy hostage. His trade value is high. If you really want to get some compensation back for him, Just trade him if you don't plan on
I agree. Now,
playing.
let's get to it. This is what really pissed me off. A lot of YouTubers are doing it. A lot of so-called former players that are doing commentary are falling into the bullshit. Shedeur Sanders did not have a good game, and not because of necessarily his performance, but obviously because the O-line was trash. He was playing with cab drivers and people that's not going to make the team. So, if you don't think that this was done on purpose and you guys something wrong with your mindset.
Yeah, they clearly sabotaged him.
Yeah, because let me tell you why. Joe Flacco played with the ones as far as the offensive lineman. That's why he was able to move the ball down the field. Dylan Gabriel played with the second string. And I'm gonna be honest, it's okay. If y'all want to do it like that, that's fine. But here's the thing. A lot of people around the internet, I told you he wasn't that good. I told you he trash. So y'all really gonna use that, really?
Man, you know 7-8 talk about this all the time. You, him, and I, we talked about it on the black man's perspective on here on your channel. Man, black people love to tear other black people down. And, you know, he talked about this on his Patreon. Man, if y'all haven't done so, man, go check out 7-8 Sports TV Patreon. Really, if you look at somebody like O.J. Simpson, right? I'm not going to lie. I was going to Assumption High School when they announced the O.J. verdict. Literally, I kid you not, bro. We used to have takeout lunches at Assumption High School. And they announced the verdict. They had oranges that day, you know, as like, I don't know if it was a whole orange or half orange. I think it was a half orange, 3/4 of an orange, whatever the case may be. Man, people start throwing oranges. Black people in celebration, throwing oranges in the gym, this, that, and the third. So they made a huge announcement the next day. Huge announcement over the PA system for morning announcements, right? They were saying, like, hey, if y'all, you know, have a outburst like that again, basically, we're not going to allow takeout lunches. And if you don't get to eat lunch, you know, on your lunch period, because, you know, we didn't have one lunch, we had two lunches. We had the first lunch and the second lunch. I think this transpired during the second lunch. He was like, you know, basically, if you don't get to eat lunch, either you're going to be late for class or you just not going to get to eat. Well, which is a lie, because, you know, as a teacher and now as an administrator, like, you got to grant every student an opportunity to eat lunch. Even if they decline it, you got to at least present them with that option and that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So that was a lie to begin with. It was just, you know, him just trying to bluff. But at the end of the day, you know, black people rejoiced. Even though a lot of people felt like he was guilty, it's like this same system that has held us down and oppressed us. It finally worked in a black person's favor, even though he really wasn't the person that really was worthy and deserving of that benefit. You know, it's just the optics of it, right? So now in 2025, you got the whole Diddy situation. Not just Diddy, but any situation where black people could tear down other black people. They're taking that chance and they're taking that opportunity. And this whole scenario and situation with Shedeur Sanders is no different. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not gonna lie.
Man, we know it's a practice. We know it's the preseason, but people are taking what Shedeur Sanders did. Like you said, it's a preseason.
And they're running with it like it's gospel.
And they're running with it like it's gospel. That's what I'm irritated about. Let's quit the bullshit and attack what's going on. If people acting like they don't have no discernment to see what's going on, then you just running your mouth and don't know what the fuck you talking about.
And even with him playing well, really and truly, he wasn't taking first team snaps then. They just wanted to throw him in there and they thought they would catch him off guard and, you know, they were sabotaging then. However, using a football analogy, he outkicked his coverage. So basically, he performed a lot better than they thought he would. And that kind of caught a lot of people off guard. And not only that, but, him being Deion's son. And like I said, I still got my issues with the way Deion left Jackson State for Colorado. But at the end of the day, that whole scenario, it benefited both Deion and it both benefited Jackson State. So, I can't let bygones be bygones, you know what I'm saying? As a member of Jaguar Nation, yeah, we could talk trash about Jackson State because they're in the SWAC. But can't nobody outside of the SWAC or outside of HBCU football world, can't nobody talk trash about Jackson State because that's family, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't like the way he left, but even with that being said, we done kind of let it go. And, him being Deion Sanders' son, that's one strike. And the fact that, he got his agent and, evidently he was getting nice little NIL money. And he got a special contract structure. I don't know how accurate it is, but the way they say, like basically based on his contract structure, he get a larger percentage of jersey sales. And essentially, he's made like $14 million on jersey sales alone. So if that's true, then the NFL power structure, the same way like Eddie Hearn and with the old one that got top rank
Bobby Hearn. You went silent, Coach. Coach, we can't hear you. Can y'all hear Coach or am I tripping? Coach, I think you're in a bad spot. Go in and go out. Give us just one moment, family. Here, Coach, go.
You can hear me, bro?
Sure can.
Yeah, but like I was saying, they don't want this a rogue renegade boxer that's not tied to a promotional company. They don't want that guy to do what he do because it upsets the power dynamic. It upsets the power structure. They lose all their leverage. And they don't want the same thing with Shedeur. They don't want him having this special type of NFL contract where you get a larger percentage of jersey sales and whatever. So at the end of the day, that's the reason why anytime you're a black man and you got a positive image and you got a dad, kind of the way Devin Haney has Bill and the way Shedeur has Deion, like they don't want that image. They don't want the Cosby image from the late 80s, you know what I'm saying? They rather the banana eating monkeys like Javante Tank Davis, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of keep it a buck. And not only that, they don't want you to be business savvy. They basically just want you, to get the crumbs from master table, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And just looking at the chat, salute. Red for one ATX. What's going on? He said what's good. Either watcher said I think the Browns is the wrong team for him. Yeah, I agree. TJ said Browns are a joke organization, man, but a blessing for Sanders to go for a real franchise. Yeah. J Bar said I agree with Eric Dickerson. Total clue. Yeah, if y'all need to, if you haven't watched it, Eric Dickerson did an interview with Brian Scott, former NBA player and coach. He had a podcast. Go watch it. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Well, and the crazy thing about it, even before I mean, we already knew that because about a month ago we had an episode because I had an uncle that had a birthday, and we were as we were finishing up that particular episode, like I was pulling up to the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about the collusion then, just like the Colin Kaepernick situation. Essentially, the NFL owners admitted that, you know, after the whole kneeling situation, they really didn't want Colin Kaepernick in the NFL, so they compensated him financially for it. And the same thing with Shedeur. Like, you know, he was going to get more money with the current deal he has if he'd have been drafted in the fourth round. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean the first round. Had he been drafted, I mean, he already getting good money from what I'm understanding anyway. But had he got drafted in the first round, he'd have made even more money. And in addition to that, you know, he'd have had more leverage and it would have looked worse. So as a result, they tanked him and he fell from the first round to the fifth round. You know, and at the end of the day, if it's about the best players playing, man, he would have got drafted in the first round. You know, a team like my team, the Saints, I'd have been cool if the Saints would have drafted him in the second round. But for this boy to fall to the fifth round, bro, that tells you everything you need to know. Them owners colluded, and they sunk his draft stock, and he fell to the fifth round. And realistically, really and truly, the Cleveland Browns are just holding him hostage at this point because there are teams that really they need him at quarterback, to be honest. But there are other teams that are in more dire need of his services at quarterback. Like, if you're not going to start the boy, man, just trade him and get what you could in return and do what's in the best interest of your franchise. But at the end of the day, just like Jerry Jones, you got too many of these owners. They'd rather be right than have a successful winning franchise and organization where you can win the Super Bowl or even just be a good playoff team. You know what I'm saying? That's too much like right.
Yeah, man. And JB was able to make it, man, to join us, man. Hope you feeling
man. Salute to JB, man. Hope you're feeling better, bro. How you doing?
I'm feeling all right, man. I just had to drink some tea and take some Tylenol, bro. I'm good. I'll make it.
Oh, that's a blessing, bro. That's a blessing.
But what we talking about? We talking about Shedeur?
Yeah,
yes, we are.
Collusion and that foolishness they did to him in the preseason game. And people just like, oh, he didn't look, they're taking a run away, oh, he didn't look good and everything. And
I mean,
and we know it's a preseason game and it don't really matter, but it is to see where you're at. And a lot of people don't think he got a good chance, didn't get a chance to get the opportunity to see, you know, where he's at with the bad offensive line play. But what's your opinion?
Well, I mean, if we're keeping it real, I kind of knew he wasn't going to have a good game this game. He's just coming back from injury, and I'm subscribed to somebody who's actually in the Cleveland Browns camp and go to the practices. Shedeur don't hardly get no snaps. He hardly don't get no snaps. So coming off an injury, and then you're going against a Rams team who always have a good defensive line, and I know he was playing against the third string, but he just didn't look good. I mean, he was trying to press too hard, especially with Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel having scoring drives. He was trying to press with the people he had on the field, and it just didn't work out for him. He was trying to, and you know, one thing I'm not a fan of, just to critique Shedeur, is him dropping back too much and trying to do that's not going to work. He's a pocket quarterback. That's where he's going to have success in. But as far as the collusion, I mean, we all knew that because that boy wasn't no fifth round draft pick. To sit there and tell me that Dylan Gabriel is better than man. Like, and again, like Adrian Cook said in the chat, this is preseason. Everybody for the most part look good in preseason. Until week one happens, everybody watch tape, everybody watch film, then we'll get to see who's good and who's not. Hell, People said Will Levis looked good last year, but when the regular season games come over, we saw he was trash. Everybody remember that? You know what I'm saying? Jackson Dart looked good, but when the preseason is over and the defense can watch film, sit back and scheme against you, we will see. To me, I don't care what happened in the preseason, even if he looked good or bad. Shedeur Sanders still was my number one quarterback coming out of college this year. Um, they don't like his daddy, and it's confirmed by Eric Dickerson. Dickerson is not a guy that just lie and make bullshit. Dickerson says that y'all don't know that Jared just tell y'all to go and watch the clip off of you said
Byron Scott.
Brian Scott podcast, I believe, or I think it's another podcast. I'm not sure, but allegedly, we're gonna put allegedly, Eric Dickerson, is close with an insider, and he was told that they were going to not draft him on purpose until somebody called the Cleveland Browns owner and told them, "Not, don't do this kid like that." So they went ahead and drafted him in the 5th round. So it's funny because you remember, you guys remember where there's a situation where Shedeur was getting those prank calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know they talk, like the coaches and the organizations be talking and shit. Because how did that kid know how to call? Because we know he got his daddy lockhead.
Yeah, unpack that, JB. Who was that kid that? What you're saying is deep. Who was that kid that did the prank call? It was just Joe Blow.
He was a coach's kid.
Mm.
And I forget what coach.
Coordinator, son.
Yeah, he was a coordinator.
Yes. So that means you remember when we was kids, your parents tell you to stay out their mouth when the grown folks talk and get out the room.
Yeah.
So that motherfucker was sitting around listening, probably listening to his pops talking and kiki and kakaing with the other coaches and the managers, and he got the number and he started the prank call Shedeur and other players. The reason why I bring that up is we all know that they talk among each other. And Eric Dickerson is probably the only player that got the balls to tell you what it is and how these motherfuckers work. I find it interesting.
Except Chris Carter.
Jared, yeah. I find it interesting that last week you brought up Eric Dickerson when we was talking about the Harbaugh situation with Michigan, about how the NCAA be doing dirty shit and they acting like they don't know about it.
Yeah.
So they have people fall on their sword to take the fall for them, but everybody does it, right? So you told the story about how SMU was, the Pony Express documentary where SMU got in trouble for paying, players under the table. Yeah, the death penalty. But Texas came to Eric Dickerson first and bought him a car. And then when Eric Dickerson didn't go to Texas, one of the coaches said, "You'll never play for Texas, Texas school again." So, and then, and I'm just flossing real quick. I'm just popping my shit off. We were one of the shows that when they were colluding about and fucking over Lamar Jackson and not getting his money, and we were one of the shows on here, the Southern Baller Show, that said, "Hey, this looked like collusion. I believe this is collusion." Everybody else was saying, "No, Lamar Jackson injury prone." This year, what came out? They had proof that these owners were colluding against players not getting their money.
The black players, yeah.
So now, just bring it. And the reason why I said that long-winded story and an example is because they're colluding. I just want to let you know they're all colluding against this kid. And I think yesterday, it got to him. It got to him. You could tell he was frustrated. He was trying to make shit happen. He didn't have a good game. But the Cleveland Browns gonna suck ass this year again.
You will be great.
Well,
Are the Browns ever the right team for any quarterback? It's just a pit of failure.
I mean, they're gonna suck ass again this year. They're gonna have a good defense, but they're gonna be trash on offense. Um, Dylan Gabriel might be a good quarterback. He might be a great quarterback. I don't see it. I've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel when he was in Central Florida, when he was with Oregon, and I think he was with another team. I want to say Oklahoma.
Or something like
I
that.
might somebody in the chat correct me about that. Didn't he go to Oklahoma
I think so.
or something like that? But he's good, but he's not the guy that's going to get you over the hump.
He's not
Not
better.
the winner.
He's not better than the
He's
Super Bowl
not.
period.
He's not. He's not. But
And
he looked like.
look what Emmett Jones put, man. He said,
Uh,
"Man, why these athletes let these snow bunnies mess them out of corporate jobs? Chris Carter, Shannon Sharp, and damn near Mike Irvin." Oh boy, you ain't lying. You was not
now
lying.
that's another conversation we need to have
Yeah, and I mean,
on another show.
no, we definitely don't talk about this on the black man's perspective. When I talked about, that buck dancing coon, Stephen A. Smith, it's like, man, look, once you got to a certain point financially and you have a big enough name, bro, you don't even really need to be on these major networks. You know what I'm saying? You can build your own platform. You don't need them. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that pissed me off. Why you get on TV every day, grinning and showing your teeth and buck dancing and bootlicking? Like, bro, you got millions of dollars and you got a name. You don't need ESPN for a damn thing.
Yeah, you're right, but hey, a lot of brothers think the white man's ice is more cold, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, and Shiloh Sanders, those who don't know, did get cut for swinging at the tight end during the preseason game. So yeah, that's thank you, Emmett Jones. Yeah, that's one thing I almost forgot about. Yeah, Shiloh got cut by Tampa Bay because he was ejected. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm very disappointed in a lot of um content creators that I'm being say who are black now because they're going along with it. There's one I'm not gonna say his name. I should, but there's one content creator who is a brown who got a Browns channel and he's playing. He's not saying
Pandering.
he's pandering and not saying shit for what it is. Um, because it's obvious. It's very obvious.
I mean, look, and we just reports in, man. I think reports in from I think Adam Schefter, whatever his last name is. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Scheffler,
That
yeah.
the Browns is reporting to keep four quarterbacks.
Okay. We gonna see. We definitely gonna see, man. But to clear that up, that wasn't the reason Shadow got cut. We got to be truthful too. No, we can get into it. I think you can pull my card, EA, and I'm gonna answer to it. I think they sent that tight end out there to do that to Shiloh on purpose. Because Shallow a little hothead, he ain't gonna put up with that. That's what I believe.
I just think Shallow is a box safety man, and the whole time is interesting to me. Come to think about it, the whole time is interesting thing to me. It's a coincidence. Um, with everything that's going on. But I'm not. I just think Shallow is a hard hitting safety. Those safeties are starting to fizzle out. I mean, they're more like linebackers now.
Yeah.
Um, I like how he plays in Colorado. He just needs to. He is a playmaker. He does come up with interceptions and forced fumbles. He need to work on his tackling in the open field, though. You know,
Yeah, he get
and
too
his
big.
coverage. Yeah, but he is a hard hitting safety. But I mean, I think he'll land on the practice squad somewhere. So I'm not too worried about it. Everybody gonna need a safety.
That's what I believe too, Israel. Thank you. That's what I believe too. I don't know. Shadow was an undrafted free agent, so his salary is peanuts. Now number 84, who was blocking him, he's trying to make the team. Yep. I am talking about talent to play safety at the NFL level. Oh, so you trying to say he ain't that good? I mean, we can
I
go
mean,
there too.
that's.
Is he that
I
good
mean,
on this
he.
NFL team? If anything, he remind me of Tony Jefferson. Tony Jefferson's still playing. He wasn't that fast, ain't that fast, but he a thumper. So his caliber of safety can play in the NFL.
That's a good comparison, actually.
Tony Jefferson, yeah. I did that for a reason. Cause Tony Jefferson he was actually getting juked and beat in coverage, but when you put him in the right scheme, he was balling.
Looks like we lost coach.
Yeah, I think he in another bad spot. Yeah, me too, Emma Jones. Shadow got the talent. I like him. He not afraid to hit somebody. Me too. Oh, James Houston definitely should make the Cowboys. So should Isaiah Land make the Colts. If the Colts cut Isaiah Land, they're stupid because he was balling. Same thing with the Cowboys with James Houston.
Yeah, James Houston's a good NFL edge rush, pass rusher,
Yeah,
and Isaiah Land is balling.
yeah, he is.
He gives you a little bit both. He gives you he can set the edge real good. Now this is what I see again. This is preseason. I'm a football head. I watch all most of these games as I can because even though this bunch of brothers is trying to get a paycheck, make the team, I like football. Love football, and I
Yeah,
be rooting for these dudes. So Zay Lynn was balling. He can do a little bit of both. He can set the edge. He can stop and run, and he can get out to the quarterback. So
yeah. Coach, did you Coach, what
What
you
you were saying,
think?
bro?
Because he made a good point. He's basically trying to get at is Shiloh. The reason why Shiloh got cooked because he's not that good.
What?
He even
Well,
put, and before you answer, let me read his comment. He said, "I've gone to Bucks practices during preseason. Shadow doesn't have the speed and lateral movement to play NFL safety at this time." What do you think about that, Coach?
well, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Many people feel like he's a fringe level NFL player, meaning that he's the 53rd, 54th, 50 man on the roster, 55th man on the roster. And that's the thing about it. I honestly believe if Deion wasn't his dad and he had the complexion for the protection, I believe he would be in the 53rd, 54th, 55th spot. But the fact that Deion is his dad, I think it kind of puts a target on his back and his chest. And in addition to that, he seems to have a little bit of a temper. That's a bad combination. And truthfully speaking, he's not going to make a team with all of that going against him, you know?
I agree. If it was he was another color, you know, and this kid works hard and
Man,
he definitely will make the team. But since
he's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, he's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he was like a Jason Sehorn or Scott Frost or one of those type of cats.
Matt Boone.
Yeah. He has a great work ethic. He's a diligent player, and he comes early and he stays late, and he's a gym rat, and he watches a lot of game film and whoop, whoop, whoop. Like all of that stuff, it's cute if it's one of them. But if it's one of us, especially when your last name is Sanders and your dad is perceived to be, an arrogant, cocky Negro, hey, Master don't want you on his team, you did.
Some people, El Hombre Negro said, some people feel like Shedeur Sanders is an all-pro NFL safety already. Ain't nobody saying that, man. Get El Hombre Negro out of here. Ain't nobody saying that shit. But anyway.
Yeah, he trying to be funny.
Yeah, trying to be
funny. We actually talking football, he being funny. Nobody said that.
Yeah.
And I like Shallow. Nobody said that.
But I'm saying that he can make a team. He's probably the last one to make the team.
Oh yeah, he should be on somebody's practice squad for sure. Yes. If not make the team, somebody practice squad to develop him.
No, yeah, he's saying, Jay Barr is saying, cause he a Colts fan. He's saying if the Colts cut Isaiah Land, they stupid. Cause Isaiah Land was balling. He says foolishness like that all the time. Yeah, well, he just got blocked. I ain't got time for it. Yeah, man, but yeah, I'm very irritated. I understand you want views, and because with my channel, I'm trying to get my views up and subscribers up, man. But at the same time, I'm not gonna, if I believe something, I'm gonna say, if I don't believe something, I'm not gonna cap just for views, man.
And we know football over here.
Yeah, we got decent knowledge, I would say. And don't know everything. We got decent knowledge, man. Okay, yeah, he said he a rattler. Okay. FAMU. No, man, just a lot of, man. I was looking at that same channel, JB. You know what I'm talking about. I was looking at, and a lot of, just being honest with you, Caucasians were like, yeah, he's not that good, and the Shedeur fanboys, Y'all
Well,
really
it's
like
be-
y'all really gonna take this to the bank, this performance to the bank that he sucked, and it's a
well, but
preseason game.
it's because what he did in the Carolina game. Everybody got excited. Everybody who was fans of Shedeur, got excited. But but I'm not. I knew he could do this. You know what I'm saying? If you give him a clean pocket, and then and then another thing. Now we're talking football. All his plays, and I think Ocho Cinco mentioned it, was the only person who mentioned this on the Shay Shay podcast or the Nightcap. Yes, that's the name of their podcast, the Nightcap. All of his plays that he snapped, designed were like downfield. It was downfield, like it was long developing plays downfield.
Right.
So, but I just noticed that too. So I'm like, because I've seen what the other two quarterbacks they had. It was great concepts, a dinky dunk. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Great. You know what I'm saying? So him to just get five snaps and still allowing him to die on the fall on his shore for the rest of the game, or if he gonna have a bad game, you know what I'm saying? Let it play out. They gave it the rest of the 2 minutes of the game to Tyler Huntley, a guy who's gonna get cut. That I hope my Baltimore Ravens pick up, but somebody that's gonna get cut. That's not gonna make your team. So I just found that interesting. So, but again, one of the Cleveland Browns fans that I'm subscribed to, who goes to the Cleveland Brown practices, Shedeur hardly get any snaps. So, I mean, and the fact he did what he did at Carolina with barely getting any snaps from like the other quarterbacks do is impressive, even in
Yeah.
the preseason game. But he just came back from injury. I kind of knew he was going to struggle. Like I said before, he was going to struggle this game. But I'm not worried about it. He'll be all right.
Yeah, Coach, man, do you got anything else to say about this topic?
No, I think I pretty much ate and got full off of this topic. I mean, that's probably but as much as I got to say on this topic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, y'all believe everything that what you see. Don't let people manipulate you. If you see something that's not right, and you believe in your heart it is, and actually in addition you can see it's not right, it is what it is. Because the masses don't want to think with discernment, don't means you don't have to. So come on, y'all. Even if you don't like Shedeur Sanders, what's going on is disgusting. Nasty work out here. But it is what is expected. He's gonna have to be strong and don't let them get the satisfaction. But y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Y'all, thank y'all for crashing out with us, man, this afternoon. I appreciate y'all. Adrian Crook in the chat, always talking shit. I appreciate you, brother. Emmett Jones, Christopher Dukes, EA, uh, J Bar, Grown with Slow. I missed your comment, brother. I'm sorry. Salute.
Man,
Israel.
salute to Ground was so. Hey, bro, I changed my number. You gonna I'm have to hit you up behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please hit up that brother, man. Israel Carey. Uh, who else? Mr. J Bar. Adrian Crook. Autism Boy, man. Appreciate you, brother. Sister Tay Tay, brother Big Reg. Host of Big Boy Talk, man. This gentleman has a dope podcast, man. Y'all please support. Go subscribe. Brother TJ, Eye of the Watcher, fool ass Mr. Shelton. Man, I appreciate y'all, man, and shout out to Big Joe Townsend. He couldn't make it, but I know he doing some obligations, man. But and Brent Fox, man.
The Lieutenant Brent Fox, Jay Good, salute to the other 3 members of the collective, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But man, salute to everyone that I missed and forgot, man. Just charge it in my head, not my heart. Appreciate y'all, man. But Coach 67 Sports TV, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you, man.
You could catch me, because lately people have been trying to reach out to me to do other HBCU collaborations. You can email me at coach67sportstv@gmail.com. You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. However, I am primarily here on YouTube at Coach 67 Sports TV. Last night, I did an immediate post-game reaction to the SWAC MEAC challenge. It has over 1,000 views right now. If you have not done so already, check out the live stream from last night. Tomorrow, I got a video of me talking about Javante Tank Davis and him fighting this sham of an exhibition with Jake Paul. And in addition to that, I got episode 2 of the tailgate party coming out pretty soon. So y'all come to my channel, y'all come rock me, come check me out. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings to the family. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC. And peace and blessings to everybody, you dig?
Yes, sir. And salute to J6, man. I hope we do get Jalen Daniels, and he looked good. Yeah, he definitely needs to stop taking unnecessary hits. But JB, any lasting words, man?
No, man. I'm sorry I was late to the party, man. Another good show. I'm glad you and Coach hold it down, man. For the Southern Ballers out there, and y'all have a great rest of your Sunday and a great work week, and y'all be blessed.
All right.
Oh yeah. And
Go ahead.
the next edition of HBCU Fanatics, coming up this coming weekend. So y'all stay tuned for that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And yeah, family, the shows will be pre-recorded, so you can still comment in the comment section. It's just that if you expect us to answer, it's gonna be pre-recorded. Just wanted to let you know. But this was another installment of the Southern Ballers Show. Y'all be blessed, man, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Peace.